Hey guys, and welcome to another Haven and Hearth guide with yours truly, Inzainia. In this guide we're going to cover quality, at least the basic concept of what quality is in the game, and how it affects all of your stuff, your products, everything you're making, and everything that you're doing. Alright, let's say I want to build something, cook something, do something. You keep seeing in all these stuff, all of these items, different quality levels, 24, 16, 32, 24, 47, 10, 48, etc. Everything you pick, everything you do in this game, just about, I would say probably 9/10 of it all, has a quality rating to it all. And you have to be mindful of that quality rating when you're doing things. Starting out, the quality I told you in the other tutorial really doesn't matter. And the other guide rather, was that because starting out you don't care, you just want anything you can get. But as you progress up through, you'll notice things like, let me pause this, mute this, turn this down. Sorry about the music. Let's go to audio. There we go. Alright, so you get in here, and let's look at some of my meat and stuff. This is a good example. Like if you look at this is bear meat, this is 91. See the HHP 3.0? That's a quality 91 piece of bear meat. The hard hit points value is at 3.0. Now if I look over here, I've got some lower grade 78. Notice that the HHP is only 2.8. Yeah, it's only 0.2, but still, it's a big difference when you start doing stuff like making these traveler's pack or sacks. You have to make these at, well, you don't have to, but if you make these, you need to be able to make them at quality 20 or better because you get bonuses for it. Like this quality traveler sack. In fact, that's what we'll discuss, is making a quality traveler sack. The quality traveler sack, basically if I take it off, notice my inventory just shrank. And if I take the other one off, which I got to move a couple things because you have to free up its inventory area. Alright, now if I take the other one out, that's a normal backpack. That's how much space you guys have if you've just made the backpack, which is just 4 leather, rabbit leather. Quality does not matter on the backpack. But when you get to the traveler's sack, they require hard leather. And they also require you to use higher quality. Now, if you make a traveler's sack that's less than quality 20, all you get, like when I click it on, notice how it added this whole row and then this vertical row. Alright, I got all of them extra slots just from putting that bag on. Now, if I had made that under quality 23, I would have only gotten the vertical row. That's it. So I'd have only gotten 1, 2, 3, 4 slots. But because I made that over quality 20, I also get the bottom row. Same thing for the other one. Now, I barely made it with this other one, 21. This is the first one that I made. But that was because I was working my survival skill up and my sewing up. And I'm about to show you the web page and you'll see exactly, what happens. Alright, so here we're going to, let me pause this and then I'll get into the web page. Alright, here we go. Now we've got the web page up. We've got the basic one, leather. This is where you start. Alright, and I've already explained how to get going into this and get to doing it. Note that when drying leather, or drying skins, the drying rack has absolutely nothing to do with the leather quality. It's just based on quality. You get the same skin, dry skin quality of the leather that you put on the drying rack. Now, once you surpass the drying rack, quality becomes important because your tanning tubs and the water that you put in them tanning tubs and the quality of the bark that you put in them tanning tubs all works in, here's the equation, they all work in to the value of the hide that you will end up getting. So you take and you can use these equations and you can multiply 3 times the quality of the hide that you've got dried, plus the quality of the bark, plus the quality of the water, and then plus the quality of the tub, and then you divide all that by 6, and that will be the quality of the leather that you get out as an end product. Now, to determine the quality of the tub, you will take the quality level of the average quality level of the boards that you use to make the tub. I think it's like 4 boards or 3 boards or however many boards to make a tub. Well, you take the quality level of all of them boards that you decide to make the tanning tub with, and you divide that by however many boards you used, get an average, and then that's your tub quality. Water can be, you can go out in a boat and you can scavenge around, take a bucket with you, pick up some water, look at it, put it back in your inventory, see what quality is, right click it and then hit empty. Keep moving forward, keep doing that, you know, scavenging around in the rivers and lakes and stuff like that. You can eventually find higher water. I've found this highest level 32 water already. So you can find higher water. You just have to get out there and find it. You only need 3 buckets of it, so or 6 buckets rather, to 5 or 6 buckets for a tub to get 1 leather. So what I do is I take a barrel and then go fill a barrel up. Like I'll put 2 barrels in the boat and then take the boat, go out, find the water and fill the barrels with water. But anyhow, back on topic. The bark determined by the tree. In order to get better quality bark, unfortunately, you have to plant your own trees. So in order to do that, you know, you have to, of course, have tree chopping and whatever it is that gives you the ability, I can't remember the name of it, I'm sorry, to plant your own trees. But you have to plant your own trees, and it can take weeks in order to increase your bark quality. Any bark that you pull off a tree, doesn't matter where it is, if it's a naturally going tree, it will always be quality 10. So you want to start planting your own trees if you want to increase that. But if you end up with a high enough quality hide, decent enough quality water, and a decent enough quality tub, you can still end up with over 20 for your stats or for the overall quality of your leather. Now once you get to where you can make leather, you tub it and it comes out over 20, preferably 35 or so, but you know, you want it up. Then you can move on to the next step, which is to do the dried leather, or hardened leather rather. I'm sorry. Now if you look at hardened leather, 5 ingredients in the inventory, blah blah blah. The quality 1 is this equation right here, which gives you the basic, the quality of your average leather plus the quality of your average wax. Now generally most wax that you pull out of a beehive or something like that is going to be between, I'd say, depends on how much farming you're doing really. You can look in here for the beehive stuff, but I generally tend to get at some places between 5 and 7, and at other places where we have our big fields, sometimes as high as 12, 13, 14, maybe even 15. So you can get decent wax, but you can always go out once you get your exploration and perception high enough. You can always go out and gather that candleberry wax and make it, but you need 5 candleberries to make each wax. So that would mean, you know, figure it out. You're going to need what two waxes per leather, and you need 5 leathers, so 10. So you're going to need 50 candleberries in order to make this with candleberry wax. Now candleberries will always be, if your stuff's high enough to see them, generally they'll be above, you know, quality 15, maybe 18, but you can get them even higher depending upon the terrain. Anyhow, you take the quality average of your leather, the quality average of your wax, add them together, divide it by 2, and that gives you a simple quality Q1 number. You then take that number, multiply it by 6, because you're using, 5 or 4 skins and 2, or no, it should be, why is it by 6? Huh. Because it's only 5 ingredients, 3 leather and 2 beeswax. I don't quite understand why they multiply it by 6. But that's the equation that they've worked out that works. So you take that number, you multiply it by 6, you add the quality of the water that you're using in your cauldron, and then the quality of the cauldron that you've made, divide that by 8, and that will give you the average, that will give you the quality of the hardened piece of leather you're going to make. All right, now quality, there's a lot of math, a lot of, you know, this crap in all of this as far as quality is concerned, because everything you do has some type of mathematical equation revolving around it as to how the quality works out. So you end up here with about 25 or 23. I think mine's now up to like 24 because my sewing and stuff is high enough. But anyhow, my ingredients give me about quality 24, 25 hardened leather when I do this, because I'm getting the water at like 28 or so. I'm using a metal cauldron that some of the villagers have that they found somewhere, bought somewhere or whatever. It's like quality 40 or so. And I've got my leather, and I'm using, I'll use the deer leather that's like 68, 69 quality, and then when I tub it in my tub, it comes out at about 58. So I'm using pretty good stuff, and then I end up with about 24, maybe 25, because of the water's pretty low and the wax is pretty low. You end up with about 24, 25 or so quality hardened leather. So then you have to also consider the fact that it's soft cap. Now what is soft cap? Soft cap means that the maximum quality of something that you can achieve is capped by something other than the highest achievable, product available, if that makes sense. So if I could make leather at 700, just for giggles, if this soft cap, which is dexterity, the square root of dexterity times sewing, if that's under 700, this is called soft capping. It's going to give me the leather at this amount, not the maximum of what I could have made. And these are usually skills that cause soft caps. Dexterity times sewing, the square root. Well, my dexterity, if we look in the game, let's see. My dexterity is 20 and my sewing is 30. So if we go cal, I know it's 600, but, 600, but still. 20 times 30. All right, we end up with 600, and then we square root that. Tells me that my highest possible hardened leather that I can ever make right now, until I increase my dexterity or my sewing more, is 24.4 right now. That's the best I can do. Doesn't matter if I use quality 1000 for all the materials. Because it's soft capped, meaning, like I've said, that under the maximum potential. Because of that, I can only make it at 24 quality. And in this game, everything rounds down. So you just drop it down to the lowest, to the number below. You just lose the extra past the period, the decimal. So I can make quality leather at 24. All right, so let's go on to the next part, which is the traveler's sack. So I've got my 5 pieces of hardened leather, and I'm ready to make this. Well, guess what? It's also soft capped. The traveler's sack is soft capped also by my sewing and dexterity. Well, we just looked it up, did the math for my sewing and dexterity. Being at 20 and 35 gives me, I think it was 24, so I'm good to go. All I need to do is get me 8 string and have them 5 hardened leather and then put it all together, and I've got a level 24 or quality 24 traveler's sack. And that's that. I mean, it's basic math, square roots, multiplication, addition, stuff like that. So it shouldn't be too difficult for anybody watching this video. But that's all you have to do. Now, this wiki is very, very important to use. And I've said that multiple times in my playthroughs and in these guides. Use these wikis whenever you start to make something beyond the very, very basics. Because I'll look up nettle. And let me show you something about nettle. All right, stinging nettle. Now let's go to nettle pants. There we go. All right, nettle pants. Stinging nettle is something you can just pick up pretty much after you take tailoring or cloth making or whatever it is, sewing or something. One of them, you need cloth making. Once you take cloth making, you start making nettle pants. Well, at level 1, nettle pants give you +1 survival, -1 agility. That's when you first pick it up if your quality is less than 10. That's probably, when you pick it up, it's probably going to be. Now, if you look here, it tells you what they do. Crafting quality is determined by the average quality of the nettles used, soft capped by the square root of sewing times dexterity. So we already know that mine's 24. So if I was to make a pair, these are the stats that I would get, so long as the quality of the nettle is within this range, 23 to 39. I would get +1 to my unarmed skill, I'd get +3 to my survivability, and I'd only lose -2 to my agility. Now, once I get my sewing and dexterity up to the point to where my soft cap is, above 40, which happens, believe it or not, you actually end up with it, up in the hundreds. So you end up with it high enough. Once I get to above 40, if I then go out and if my survival skill, now your survival determines the quality of the items that you pick. So, and clay that you dig. Stuff like that, stuff that you mine. It's all dependent upon your survival skill. Well, my survival skill's at 60. So I can pick anything up to quality level 60 if it's there. Now the ground terrain and area it's in all determines its actual quality. Its hard cap of quality, meaning the highest available, quality level that it can be. But if I found a place that had level 40 plus nettles, and I picked a nettle there, I would get 40 something plus nettles. I could then take and use those, and if my soft cap of my sewing and dexterity was above 40, and then I made them, I would end up with +2 unarmed, +4 survival, -2 agility. That's quality, and that's how it matters. As you can see here, this is just a very, very small, view that I've showed so far of quality. But if you go to swords, let's look up some of the swords, like the militia sword. That's not a good one. The soldier's sword. Back. I didn't mean to. There we go. The soldier's sword, maybe. With the hammer and an anvil. Best weapons of the game, blah, 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 but it's not telling me what it is. But I'll tell you right now, this weapon is based on a quality scale just like what I've shown you. Base damage means that it's less than 20 or less than a certain amount. Basically just able to make it quality-wise. And you're going to have 400 base damage. But that damage and other stats increase more depending, the higher the quality of the item that you make. So that's where quality comes in. In this game, there aren't upgrades like you would see in most role-playing games and other games. Like you'd make a soldier sword, the soldier sword +1, or soldier sword +2, or whatever. No, in this one, you raise your skills and your stats, and as you do so, the quality level available to you increases so that you can make better and better and better. And it goes as far back as to even your kiln if you're doing things with clay, your oven when you're baking things. All of that, everything that you build, just about, that's a product that you're using for something else or to make something else, has generally 9 times out of 10 has a quality rating related to it. So you want to make sure that these items, you're upgrading them as your quality increases. I would do it in large amounts. Like me, you see my skills that I just showed you. I'm still using the first kiln that I ever made when all my stats were like 1. So, I mean, I'm at the point now to where I need a better oven. So I've got to go and I've got to find some higher quality clay and make a better kiln so that I can then make a better oven, so that I can then not be hard capped, or I'm sorry, not be soft capped on baked items that I make, because the oven's quality is so low, it just destroys the food. The food that I'm looking at, the food that I'm eating, this will be the last little thing that I'll show you. If you look out here, let me come over to the to my food, and this will show you basics. All of these that I made, these boiled river pearls, notice that they're all quality 7. All of these were 10 or 15 when I picked the mussel, the actual clam. And then I boiled them in this cauldron right here, which I made right after I made that kiln, so it's got level quality 10 clay made with it. So the cauldron level is 10, so it's so low, and the water in it was 10. It's pretty low that it ended up degrading the quality level of the food because it was under the quality level of the food. So it drugged the food down, to it, or a midway ±5 type deal between it. And I ended up with all +7 things. So, you need to read that wiki, check the things that'll explain what's going on, all that other good stuff. And you'll have an idea of what's going on with quality. So hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I will try to elaborate further on any topic that you need help with. But also, again, remember the wiki's your friend, so use it. And hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.